You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we got some news in here that probably will make Pat McAfee pretty happy, but it seems that a very long-time executive that has caused some real problems for Pat McAfee and his show over at ESPN has gotten shown the door. And I'm talking about Norby Williamson. He's the guy that McAfee claimed in a video a while back was trying to sabotage his show. And in fact, I believe there was an issue involving the ratings. Ratings were coming out, and the media ran with it, said that, hey, McAfee's ratings may not be so great, except when you included all of the actual social media and YouTube. McAfee's success on that show was, well, unquestioned. It was massively popular, and the reach was unbelievable. So let's go over here to Outkick. Pat McAfee wins power struggle as ESPN dumps executive accused of sabotaging the popular show. And yes, this is the sabotaging guy. So there you go. Norby Williamson's time at ESPN reportedly has come to an end. Williamson was accused by Pat McAfee, the new face of ESPN, of sabotaging his show since joining the network back in January. McAfee doubled down by referring to Williamson as a, quote, rat. A verbal offensive sparked a massive internal power struggle behind the scenes at ESPN, and now there's a clear winner. So, this is what McAfee said.
Anyways, we're very appreciative, and we understand that more people are watching this show than ever before. We're very thankful for the ESPN folks being very hospitable. Now, there are some people actively trying to sabotage us from within ESPN. Funny. More specifically, I believe Norby Williamson is the guy who is attempting to sabotage our program. I'm not 100% sure. That is just seemingly the only human that has information, and then somehow that information gets leaked, and it's wrong. And then it sets a narrative of what our show is. And then are we just going to combat that from a rat every single time? I don't know. But like somebody tried to get ahead of our actual ratings release with wrong numbers 12 hours beforehand. That's a sabotage attempt. And it's been happening basically this entire season from some people who didn't necessarily love the old edition of the Pat McAfee show to the
Okay, and look, Norby had been there forever. And because of that, and it's my understanding that I believe Dan Lebitard and some others had some issues with this guy over the years, but nonetheless, he's gone. He's out. This is ESPN, a note from Burt Magnus. Colleagues, I am reaching out with some important news. Norby Williamson will be leaving the company today, after 40 years of dedicated service. During Norby's career, he made significant contributions across many important roles within the content. Through his steadfast commitment and attention to detail, Norby has had a lasting impact on sports fans' experience. His wide-ranging influence includes SportsCenter, breaking news coverage, immense creativity within event and studio productions, and diverse storytelling across various ESPN platforms. And he goes on to give his after almost 40 years, in 1985, I was fortunate to be offered opportunity with ESPN. Due to exceptional hard work and creativity, commitment of the people of ESPN, to a much lesser extent my contributions, I'd like to think we've left a great company in a far better place on the sports fans' experience. So, well, wait, that's not it. Let's see, where are we going? In a far better place than when we found it. There we go. So he's out over there after a power struggle, and it looks like Pat McAfee may have gotten his way. The New York Post reported that Williamson was due to stay with the network through the 2027 Super Bowl. Well, that's definitely not going to happen, and there's only one way to interpret the situation. Pat McAfee just won in blowout fashion. ESPN invested an incredible amount of resources and money into acquiring the Pat McAfee show. Yeah, because he had a massive deal with FanDuel. He didn't have to go over there. And Williamson reportedly wasn't a fan of bringing a YouTube star into a traditional television setting. Well, that tells you right there, he was all about the woke journalist, which means exactly why I don't watch ESPN anymore. They got rid of the good journalists they had, and now everything's like a political show, it seems like. A civil war started, and it was clear from the early stages of conflict that McAfee felt he held all the cards. Many doubted that was the case. McAfee turned out to be correct because he's the face of ESPN. The network is positioning him as the future. He has a major role on Gameday, and Norby Williamson no longer has a job. And so that's pretty interesting right there. And look, there's been various reports of what it is McAfee is actually making, but I've heard rumors of like $15 million a year or something like that. And in a lot of ways, I mean, he started, if you go back and look through old videos of the Pat McAfee show, I mean, it's like just him sitting in a room, like no production value whatsoever. I mean, absolutely nothing. And to see what that guy has built that into, now I understand he's ex-NFL star, which helps. It allows him to form relationships and bring in guys that he already knows. But I give McAfee a lot of credit. You know, he's taken a lot of heat, for example, for continuing to have Aaron Rodgers on. And then, of course, trolling everybody by saying Aaron Rodgers is not coming on anymore. And then, like, the next day, Aaron Rodgers shows up. It's hilarious. And the fact is, I like to listen to voices, frankly, that are not traditional journalists. And if I do listen to a journalist, it's like a citizen journalist now. I mean, those degrees from their woke universities, liberal universities, don't mean anything to me anymore at all. The media has a terrible reputation. So here we are, end of the day, Pat McAfee, he won this one. It's a wrap, and Norby Williamson is gone. I cannot imagine an executive leaking out false information about ratings on one of what is now one of your top guys. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But nonetheless, he did. McAfee was not even the slightest bit shy of going out and publicly destroying that guy on his show. Think about that. An executive employed by Disney. And McAfee roasted him. And I love that. I really do. That's one of the reasons I actually still watch, and I don't watch any other commentary shows from ESPN. Now, in full disclosure, I watch it on YouTube. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.